power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom.
The power of the heart.
Finding the power of the
Finding the
heart.
power of the heart.
The power of
Power
the
of the heart. Power of the heart.
让我们寻回心的力量。
The
Power
power
of
of
the
the
heart.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Yuru Chao. You are tuning in to the Power of the Heart on Zai Radio. Today, we'll start a whole new book called Life Economics. In this book, Dharma Master Zheng Yan expressed her views on the importance of seizing the time to benefit others, especially now when disasters are occurring even more frequently, and no one knows if there's a tomorrow. Here and now, we must seize time to do the best we can to inspire everyone in our world. Only when we join together, we can create a better tomorrow. In the tug of war between good and evil, each individual's power is limited. When everyone works together and with strength in numbers, we can take on the challenge to bring about world peace. To achieve this, we must create good affinities with others and give of ourselves selflessly. Time passes by so fast. Master Zheng Yan constantly reminds herself and people to work hard to help people. Only through helping others can we learn to improve ourselves and to gain wisdom. Like Buddha's last word to his disciples, Buddha wanted them to be clearly aware that all things in the world are changing at all time and not lasting. With this truth, Buddha urged them to work hard to gain their salvation. Also, to answer one of his disciples' question that without Buddha, how can they not be lost? Because they view Buddha as the teacher, and if they don't have a teacher to follow, they will be lost. Buddha answered them that doctrines and discipline taught and made known by the Buddha should be their teacher. Buddha emphasized the Noble Eightfold Path. First, right understanding. Understanding that Four Noble Truths are noble and true. Second, right thought. Determining and resolving to practice Buddha's fast. Third, right speech. Avoid slander, gossip, lying, and all forms of untruth and abrasive speech. Fourth, right conduct, adhering to the idea of nonviolence, as well as refraining from any form of stealing or improper sexual act. Right means of making a living is next. That means no slaughtering of any animal or working at jobs that force you to violate other people's right to live. 6. Right mental attitude or effort. Avoiding negative thoughts and emotions such as anger and jealousy. 7. Right mindfulness. Having a clear sense of one's mental state and bodily health and feelings. The 8th is right concentration. Using meditation to reach the highest level of enlightenment. So we know there are good times and bad times, ups and downs in our life, but once time had passed, it is gone forever. Therefore, we should pay attention to the time economics, treating time as a valuable resource. In our program today, we'll begin with a reading of Master Zheng Yan's teaching about the clock that cannot be turned back. This reading is provided by Mr. Colin Legerton. Then, after a short break, we'll discuss this teaching with Miss Jackie Shapiro.
You are listening to The Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. Tapping into the power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom. Finding the power of the heart.
Chapter 1. Time Through a Microscope. Time often troubles us. It has no substance to be caught or held. It has no form or figure to be seen. It is always coming and going around us. Our perception of time is limited to people and events, but in reality, Time is like the shifting sands of an endless river accumulating into the infinite future. Before today lay the boundless past. According to scientists, the Earth is 4.6 billion years old. Compared to the lifespan of the human race, this is indeed a long time, and it does not even include the immeasurable time that passed before the Earth came into existence. In Buddhism, we say that there are 3 periods of time: present, past, and future. Today's past is yesterday. Its future is tomorrow. Yesterday also has its past, which is the day before yesterday. Similarly, up to the moment of our birth, we have had many previous lives. Does life have a limit? No. Because each past has its own past, there are countless pasts. The river of time has brought us to this life, this moment. Will there be a future after today? Will our future end in the next moment, or tomorrow? No one knows. Section 1. The clock that cannot be turned back. Although a clock shows the same time today as it did yesterday, the day is not the same. When we say now, at this instant, it has become the past as soon as we have said it. So how can it still be now? Time keeps slipping away without pause. This is the law of emptiness. Our life is like a clock, but when a clock runs too fast, we can slow it down. Yet we can never turn back the clock of life. So we should cherish every second and not procrastinate or waste time. The equality of time. In this world, people appear to differ in wealth and status, but in reality, all are truly equal. For instance, each person has the same 24 hours every day. It all depends on how each individual uses these hours. A wise person considers only the time spent in working and contributing as using time. Each day, from the moment our eyes open and our consciousness stirs until we rest at night, we interact with the surrounding environment. This period of time is usable time. Therefore, if we do not get up at 6 o'clock but keep sleeping until 8, those 2 hours would be wasted. We cannot save extra hours for tomorrow by sleeping earlier today. The reservoir of time is emptied each day, just like a computer is wiped clean of its files. Each day, time starts anew. It is the same for everybody, whether rich or poor, noble or lowborn. All have the same 24 hours, not a second more. We have the right to use time while awake, but not while asleep, a law that applies to all. The important thing is how we use it. As time goes by, we all produce different karmic seeds. Good or bad, they are all saved in the file. So we must use our time well for good karma to accumulate. Some people do neither good nor evil, but simply spend each day in pleasure. Their lives are wasted. We should seize every moment to do good deeds and plant seeds of goodness. Wasting time is like shortening our lifespan. In the reservoir of life, time is limited. Each morning as we open our eyes, we should realize that there is only so much time. Time unused is time wasted. Not only should we make good use of each day, we should also seize every moment to do good deeds and accumulate merit. Moreover, we must be very careful in our actions. For instance, when we see an old woman fall down, we should quickly reach out to help her up and show our care by asking, "Are you all right?" This is an act of kindness. The old woman will say, "Thank you. You are a good person." This is an act of virtue. We accumulate good deeds and merits if we always give rise to good thoughts and take actions accordingly. This is how we avoid wasting the time we have. Losing 1 year of age per year. Samantabhadra's verse of admonition says, "The day has passed and life has shortened with it. Just as a fish in a drying pond, what joy is there?" When I get up each day, I ask myself what has to be done today. In the evening, as the day comes to an end, I reflect on whether I have finished everything I meant to do. I feel that once the day has passed, my life is 1 day shorter, just like the fish in a tank whose water is diminishing drop by drop. As we approach the end of our lives, we can perish at any time, like fish without water. At the beginning of each new year, when people say, "Happy New Year," I cannot help but think, another year has passed. What's so happy about that? Some would say, Because we're 1 year older. I actually think of it as 1 year less. If one can live to be 80, then with each passing year, does he not have 1 less year to live? So 1 year older is actually 1 year less in our lives. Whenever I think of this, I wonder why we toil through life fussing over trivial things. We busy ourselves with work and compete with others openly or in secret. Yet when we pass away, we can take nothing with us except our karma. Good or bad, whether we want it or not, each of us must take with us all the karma accumulated throughout our lives. Therefore, there is nothing in life worth fussing over except time. We must cherish the time we have and use it to the fullest. Although working non-stop is tiresome, when you look at it from another perspective, feeling tired or not is simply a matter of attitude. For example, sometimes I feel physically exhausted too. But whenever I think about taking a break, another thought comes to my mind. Idling away 1 hour is letting 1 hour of life slip away. I cannot let it pass in vain. I have to make it fruitful. This is how you can change your perspective. We often say that it is a blessing to be healthy and a blessing to be able to work. With this understanding, we will not waste time. Once there was a volunteer who was being treated for cancer in Tsuji Hospital's Heart Lotus Ward. She posted a note on her headboard. "If you love me, please do not ask me to sleep." She knew she was in the terminal stage of her disease, so she wanted to do as much volunteer work as possible. Everyone was concerned about her condition and always wanted her to rest. So she wrote that note asking people to let her make best use of the time she had left. Why rest? If something is right, we should seize every moment to do it. At the beginning of each new year, everyone fills in new calendars and makes new resolutions, hoping that each day we may reach our goals, fulfill our wishes, and do things that make us happy and at ease. We all hope that we can complete each page full of plans and adjust our life direction. However, we soon become too busy or tired and let go of our original plans. Whether or not our plans are carried out, time does not stop ticking, and life keeps slipping away. Time keeps ticking away. Nothing tangible on earth can stand still. The earth turns, giving us 4 seasons each year, as well as light and darkness each day. But we hardly notice that the earth is revolving. It is the same with the human body. When did our hair grow long? Every so often we need to cut our nails again. At which second, which minute, or on which day did they grow long? We have no idea at all. New cells are born as old ones perish. Starting as a baby, we become a teenager, then enter into adulthood and old age. The whole process takes place without our knowing it. I remember one day 30 years ago, a mother brought her little girl to the Jingsa abode. The girl had just started kindergarten. She was hungry, so her mother gave her a bottle of milk. While lying there drinking milk, she asked, "Mama, can I not grow up?" Her mother asked, "Why?" She said, "Since I'm little, I can lie down and drink milk, right?" Her mother replied, "Right, drink up so you can grow up big and strong." The girl said, "I don't want to grow up, so I can always lie down and drink milk like this." I was deeply impressed by this dialogue. When I saw her again a few years ago, she had grown from a little girl into a young woman. Everyone has only one childhood. Every day comes but once. When time passes, it will never come back again. Once something has happened, it is hard to make amends. Objects may be reproduced, but a fracture in time or in the heart is impossible to mend. Our lives are truly very short. They last only a few decades. Therefore, we must constantly remind ourselves that as long as the direction is correct, we should seize each moment and do what is right. Otherwise, if we miss an opportunity, it will never come back. We only live once. Once means each life experience happens only one time. A group of students once asked Socrates how they may experience truth. He told them, "I'll show you through an experiment." Socrates brought them to an orchard and said, "Walk from the entrance all the way to the exit. You may choose any fruit along the way. However, you must choose the best, the most beautiful, the one you like the most. You may only pick one, and you cannot go back." The students entered the orchard. Seeing the trees full of fruit, they could not decide which one was the best and the most beautiful. Before they knew it, they came to the end of the orchard. Socrates then asked them, "Have you picked the best and the most beautiful fruit?" "Master, please give us another chance," they pleaded. "Why haven't you picked any fruit?" Socrates asked. One student replied, "When I first entered the orchard, I saw a very large and pretty fruit, but I thought maybe there were bigger and better ones inside. I was worried that if I picked the first one, I would have no chance to pick a better one later." The master said, "This is the great truth. We only have one chance in life. We are only young ones too. We can never go back." People often say, "If I had known better, I never would have done it." We must set our life's goals and purposes in the right direction. No matter how far it is or how much time it takes to get there, we must walk on earnestly. If we have the mentality that, "I can do it tomorrow if I can't get it done today," then we do not lead an earnest life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Shapiro. I'm from New York City in the United States. My favorite Jingxi aphorism is, "For the person in the mirror to smile, the person looking in the mirror must smile first." That teaching from Master Cheng Yen helps me to remember an experience that I had in Taiwan in elementary schools, which I think is very poignant, that the Tzu Chi schools teach children to look in the mirror and shake hands and see what they look like to other people, because I think your exterior presentation to someone is often what is returned to you. If you look grumpy, then somebody gives you a grumpy response. If you look smiling and happy, people have more of a tendency to be open and friendly with you. So I thought that was a very important piece of teaching, and I hope we could all do that everywhere. So may wisdom and inspiration be with you always.
Our special guest today is Miss Jackie Shapiro. Jackie is a social activist and advocate in UN, especially on the issues of girls, women, and trafficking of human. She came to UN in 1996. Before that, she worked with Oxfam America and U.S. El Salvador Sister City. With her Chinese language and Asian study degree, she served in the U.S. Peace Corps, and later on in Korea, she met her husband there. Welcome to the program, Jackie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Mutual friend of the Tzu Chis and introduced us. The Tzu Chi organization had just gotten its accreditation to the Department of Public Information at the UN, and our friend was going off to Germany to do some advanced studies. And she said, "Well, Jackie, I want to introduce you to the Tzu Chi organization, and maybe occasionally they might ask you for some advice since they're newly accredited to the UN." And that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I'm really blown away by the incredible contribution that they made during Hurricane Sandy. It's not just monetary contributions, because they're always very generous fundraisers, but also not only during but after, for a long period of time, the local Tzu Chi organizations really helped the people in the New York, New Jersey area who were very much affected by Hurricane Sandy. What they actually do in all situations is they change people's lives. They offer opportunity to, especially the poorest of the poor, the people who really, seem to have no hope, who have, lives that are very challenging. And that is one of the reasons I've always been particularly drawn to the work that the Tzu Chis do.
Great. And you've been to Africa, Tzu Chi's operation in Africa. Can you share with us a little bit about what you saw over there?
I was invited by the Tzu Chis to visit South Africa. I kind of promoted this trip myself at one session of the Commission on the Status of Women. The Tzu Chis brought some of the people from their program in South Africa. And I was particularly touched by their presentation, and the organizers said that they were going to build 50 community centers in South Africa in the next 5 years or something. I said, wow, I want to see that. and they were kind enough to invite me to see some of their work in South Africa. It was very inspiring. One thing that was so funny was that many of the Africans come from a Christian-based upbringing. There are a lot of missionaries in Africa. So they would sing Christian songs, but they would give them Tzu Chi words, which I just loved. I thought that was wonderful. But the South African experience was special because they would dance and sing, and they were just so excited. But they were also at the same time incredibly grateful to the Tzu Chis for giving them these opportunities, which they knew were outside of their own ability to create for themselves.
We have 2 South African youth volunteers now studying in our language school in Hualien, Taiwan. And I did talk to them one time when they came to the abode to volunteer during the weekend while their school were not in session. I asked them, how did you brave it all to come to a foreign country to study a foreign language? Chinese to them is a foreign language. And how do you adjust to this new environment, which must be very difficult with different culture and no relatives with you, and you're here by yourself, and just 2 of you, 2 young girls, and trying to make it happen here so you can get the language skill and move on to college degree. One wanted to be a teacher, another one wanted to be a nurse. They say they saw the life and how their future will be like in their own community. If they stay there, they know what their future will be. Well, they wanted to give it a try. They wanted something more. They wanted something different. They knew that they're not likely to get the opportunity, stay in their community and just going through the same track as everyone else. So when Tzu Chi offered them this opportunity to study in Taiwan with a full scholarship, they knew it's going to be hard, but they took it for the hope that they can really excel and be more than what they can do back in their hometown. So I don't know, that just moved me to tears because...
I met one of those girls.
Ah.
I have pictures of her. They were hoping that she would be one of the people that would go, and so lovely, just a lovely human being.
Yes, yeah.
So it's great that she had that opportunity.
They're going to go back to their hometown and be that role model for the future young generation, because they truly believe that the local youth group needed a good role model, a leader, so to speak, to inspire them, to empower them. And that's what they wanted to do when they finished their study.
It's so, if you saw their hometown, you would even know how more incredible it is. It's a bunch of shacks that are around this lovely school that the Tzu Chis helped to build. I mean, there's a lot to be done in South Africa, so it's good that the youth want to go back.
And let's talk about time management, because with all these things we wanted to do, time is never enough. And Master Cheng Yen often mentioned that her her view on time is like a shifting wave of an endless river that keeps slipping away without pause. Have you ever felt the same?
Practically every day, I think. But I don't have as much on my plate as she does. So I think it's slightly different, but it's also the same, is that, and I think it also, when you're young, you feel like time is endless. But when you get more mature, you realize that you have a finite amount of time to accomplish whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's read 100 books. One thing I know about myself has to do with time of day. I'm a morning person, so I know that if I want to get a lot done, I have to do it early in the day. The evening time I'm more mellow and not as energized and focused. So that's one thing that I do, is to try to get a lot done in the early part of the day, before the evening. I think my calendar and I are very good friends. Part of my time management is what is in my calendar and what needs to get done in each day, and how to achieve all of that, day by day, step by step.
Time is invisible, but calendar definitely is very tangible and visible, that can keep reminding us what are the things that we need to accomplish today, what are the goals we set out to do today. Our time is up today. We'll be listening to this book over the next several episodes. Please join us next time to continue our discussion on the book called Life Economics. If you want to read this book we're talking about, you can find a copy of this book in any Jingsi bookstore and cafe. For more teaching from Master Cheng Yen, please tune in next time to our program. Goodbye and have a great day.
Love's the language of our souls. Love's held in hearts, now hands alone. Love's our small wish for you to enjoy. We wish you forever peace and joy. Love walks tall while sharing smiles. Love's found in silent gratitude's eyes. Love's giving more than yesterday. Believing strong, brave and not afraid. Give love openly as the sun shines warm light on you and me across every distance. So show our love, dare to dance. Spread love readily, pave the long road ahead tenderly. Your soothing blessings heal all pain and suffering. Sharing smiles. Love's found in silent gratitude's eyes. Love's giving more than yesterday. Believing strong, brave and not afraid. Give love openly as the sun shines warm light on you and me across every distance. So show our love, dare to dance. Spread love readily, pave the long road ahead tenderly. Your soothing blessings heal all pain and suffering. Across every distance, so show our love, dare to dance. Spread love readily, pave the long road blessings, heal all pain and suffering. Your soothing blessings, heal all pain and suffering. Your soothing blessings, heal all pain and suffering.